All right.
We're live.
Hey y'all, it's Chris, Homesteading the Hard Way. And we've got some more pig questions I want to try to answer. Today we're going to talk about worming your pigs, what to do it with, and how to do it. Now, we've already done these. We were going to film actually doing it, but I didn't have any help. Darlene was all the help I had. She can't help me and film at the same time. So, look right here. This is not the pen these pigs stay in. That's the pen they stay in. But having a catch pen or somewhere dry to work pigs when you need to is a pretty good idea. Now, if you just got one or two you're feeding out, you probably don't need it. But we're actually raising pigs, so this is what I did. I took a short piece of panel, which is wired to the fence. You run the pig in here, or two pigs, or three, or how many you can get in there. Let somebody hold it to the fence, and you can lean against it like a squeeze chute and catch them to give them a shot. Now I got to find the stuff. You let them go back over there.
Okay,
We're back on.
we're back on.
Okay, look right here. This is noromycin, noromectin, but it's ivermectin is what it is. It's just a generic brand name, I think. It's 1% solution. You can get it under several different brand names. It says 1 milliliter or cc. A cc and a milliliter, the same thing. For 75 pounds of body weight. You can overdose them, so be careful. Something I want to caution you about. It's tempting to do. I've done it. To fill the syringe up and try to give the dose by pressing it, that's a bad idea. Just draw one dose in the syringe at a time. It's easy to screw up. If you overdose them, you'll shut the kidneys down and kill them. It had to be a major overdose, probably. I don't know if that needle holding 3 cc's is enough to do it, but it can happen. Give it to them behind the ear. In fact, you can see some spots on those where we gave it to them. And I like to do it actually a little bit smaller than this. I like to get them about 40 pounds and give them half a cc. And it definitely needs to be done before you start feeding them. And then you just have to watch and make sure they're not reinfected. But if you'll worm them, then move them to a clean pen, most times you won't have any trouble. We did a video earlier this year, sometime or another, about using the ivermectin paste, horse worm.
The honey bun trick was probably the video.
Yeah, the honey bun trick, that's right. This is not labeled for hogs, so don't do it because I told you. But I did consult a vet. And what we consulted him about was our big sows. My pig over here that weighs 600 or 700 pounds that you can't handle, you can't catch, you can't hold. Sometimes I can scratch her ear and give her a shot. She won't pay me any mind. Sometimes you can't do it. Like the boy we had weighed 700 plus. You could not handle him. You could not give him a shot. So I consulted the vet, and he looked up, researched it somehow or another, and came up with a tube, basically the whole tube for the dose for a 600 pound plus pig. Now you reverse engineer that, you come up with a half tube dose for a 300 pound pig. And what we do is we feed some close to out-of-date honey buns and stuff anyway, and bread, and we'll inject it into a honey bun and they'll gobble it up. You know, it seems to work. We haven't had a worm problem with it. I think that's about all we wanted to cover. Is that all everybody asked about? Is what to give them, how to give them, and when to give them. I worm the big hogs twice a year. Worm them about middle way to summer, and I worm them in the fall, or late spring and in the fall. The feeder pigs, these are pigs we're going to feed out to butcher. I like to get them this size or smaller, and if it looks like I have a problem, I'll redo it. But most of the time, one time's enough. There is a withdrawal time on wormer. And what that means is it will hurt you if you eat the pig. It's 35 days. You can't worm them within 35 days of slaughter. And an interesting fact, something asked me, I have some people have asked, and I've seen people make some hateful comments, won't know why when they do minor surgery on livestock, like cutting open abscesses and castration and stuff, why they don't use an anesthetic, local anesthetic or something. I was talking to a vet the other day and I found out the actual reason is there's a long withdrawal time for that anesthetic. And unfortunately, sometimes you never know when you're going to work on an animal and then they're going to take it to the slaughterhouse and sell it. These people do that. It's a little unscrupulous, but people do it. And the veterinarian can get in trouble if they've given them a drug within so many days of slaughter, so they won't do it. It's a long withdrawal time. Some of the stuff is not labeled for pigs, like the local anesthetics and such. And that's really why it's not done. It's kind of a food safety thing. And I thought that was really interesting. We thought about doing a whole video on that. But maybe that'll help you a little bit. If you have any questions, let me know. Put them in the comments, and we will answer them eventually. Sometimes I'll miss one. But if I see it, I'll answer. And I appreciate you watching. Remember, you can do this. If you never apply a field, but turn it over in your mind. Y'all have a good one.